Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om, Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om, Pranam Swamiji.
Day for yesterday, we were prompted to dwell on the three aspects. What were they? Everybody has forgotten.
Chanter, chanting, prompter, prompting,
Chanter, chanting, and chanted. That means as soon as we get up in the morning, when the mind is fresh, we try this method. Why? What for? To have a glimpse of our own core of the being. So that is essential in our journey. And we attend to all of them. There is one more talk Papa delivered during his foreign tour. We will just read it out. It might throw more light on this. Repetition of God's name constantly will purify our mind and raise us to a level in which we realize that we are always in the presence of God. Repetition of God's name constantly will purify our minds and raise us to a level in which we realize that we are always in the presence of God. God's name is like a boathouse. It's a boat because when we take the name, it takes us across the sea of life. It is also compared to a bridge that takes us to the two sides of the river because it gives us darshan of both the Nirgun and the Sagun. A saint in India says that God's name is like a lamp on the doorstep which gives light inside the room as well as outside the room. So also when we keep the name on our lips, it gives us darshan of God inside as well as outside. Unless we see God within and without, we cannot have the supreme bliss and peace which all aim at, thirst for, hunger for. Ramdas asks you to sit for a short while and with all love and devotion take his name. You will find that the name will grant you, for that moment at least, real peace and bliss. You know, when you were singing God's name here in chorus, what peace and joy you felt inwardly. You can take God's name anywhere and everywhere while walking, sitting, traveling, on all occasions and at all times. If you have got any adoration for any form of God, let that form dwell in your heart. Let the name chanted by your tongue constantly ring in your ears. In this way you will find there will be no room for any other thought to come and disturb you. You will be doing all things in a calm, serene, cheerful spirit, and ultimately you will find that you are merged in God and that you are doing everything by His will, His power, and His inspiration. It is not that you should give up the daily duties that are allotted to you, but you must do all your work in the consciousness or remembrance of God. Kabir was a weaver. He was repeating God's name and at the same time weaving cloth on the loom. He was saying that the cloth was woven not by him but by Rama. There was a lady in Maharashtra whose name was Janibai. She was always repeating Vittal's name. When she was grinding corn, she was feeling that it was Vittal who was doing the work of grinding and not she. When your mind is in tune with God, through the repetition of the name, whatever is done is not done by you, but by God through you. So you can have your being in God and still be acting in the world. When you are doing work with your hand, your mind may be engaged in the thought of God. Instead of wasting your time in useless talks and unnecessary activities, you should keep His name on your tongue and do your work quietly in a spirit of dedication to Him. We have got 4 defects of the tongue. One is that we are talking aimlessly, wasting our time. We are slandering others or talking ill of others. We are using the tongue for scolding and abusing others. We use the tongue for telling lies also. If you have God's name always on your tongue, you can never have these defects. You will only talk when necessary, and that too in a sweet and gentle way. Consequently, your mind will be calm and serene. Your heart will be filled with love for all beings. You will be patient, kind, loving, and forbearing. When you develop these virtues, naturally your mind will become peaceful. So some of these points we have to keep on bringing, otherwise, reading and hearing will not help us much. Those 2-3 things Papa wanted us, that is, as much time as possible, we will try to chant and with the right perspective. As there is no divide between spiritual and worldly, whatever is allotted to us, whatever is assigned to us, instead of thinking that we are doing, we are acting, we are thinking, we are talking, Papa wants us to bring that dimension. Through us, the Lord is making us to talk, think and do. This we try to develop. It is not that easy because all these years we have been thinking that we are thinking, we are talking, we are doing everything. Though we have faith in God, though we have been chanting His name, doing bhajan, attending satsang, involved in swadhyay, as soon as the session is over, we are back to our usual self, small self. So we are now trying, we are hearing all these things, we are trying to implement it as much as possible. Throughout the waking state, it may not become possible for us. But whatever is done, it will not go in vain. So today Papa chose to talk on these lines. Somehow that means in a simple word we can infer that we should demolish the barrier between spiritual and worldly. Because he is with us, He has been with us. Even when I forget, even when I don't recognize that He is behind, He is still with us, Even when we say that we are doing, we are thinking, we are acting, not that He gets up and goes away. He allows us to say all those things. If we try to become aware of this principle, that even in times of forgetfulness, He is with us, He has been with us, probably we might be able to read the mind. Our speed may be something like snails moving, but it is okay. Because we know He is with us, He has been with us. during the past moments, we try to dwell on this intensely. Does anybody have any other thoughts? No other thoughts for anybody? Everybody is on inward journey.
Swamiji, Swamiji, Hari Om, chanted. At once, Swami.
It is the outcome of our process. Suppose we are putting the outcome first, how can it be? We set ourselves on a process, and then a stage comes when these three join together, it becomes one, and Papa says, that calmness, that stillness, the peace, which is the basic, which is the core of our being, substratum of our being, basis of our being, that we come to realize. If that has to take place, there should be a constant effort on our part to know that He is there, He has been with us. He is making us to chant. So He is the chanter. Because He is making us to chant, He is making us to chant the name. And whose name? His own name. So when we keep on reflecting these three aspects, all of the dissimilar thoughts recede, fade away. And then what happens? That's what Papa has pointed out. So we try this method, no? And try this method in our own way. Broadly, this is the one. And when we try, we develop our own unique way of remembering Him. We are chanting because we have life. No? If it's a dead body, it it will not chant. And chanting is closely associated with, to become aware of the chanting. Awareness, consciousness. So during our chanting, we try, instead of what is happening now, chanting is going on, mind is going elsewhere. We are not aware that he is making me to chant. Suppose we set apart 5 minutes every day, preferably when we are alone, when the mind is relatively fresh. We try. You are making me to chant your name, to make me aware of your presence, and to know that you are behind everything. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. You are making me to chant this mantra to make me aware of your presence and to gradually accept that everything, whatever is happening only by your will. Because you are the actuator, you are the originator of everything, including the sense of individuality which says now me. Like that, we devise our own method. But after 5 minutes, okay. Next day, when we try to do that, the impact will slowly become more and more conspicuous, more and more deep. It will not be of the superficial level. That is the purpose for which, we have all been drawn to Anandash. He was also like us, not aware of it till his 38th year. Whatever he was doing it like all of us. But when God provided an opportunity for him through the trying moments, through which he was made to pass, he was blessed to have this. We are trying to put 2 and 2 together. That in one of his articles he said when he had the darshan of Mahatma Gandhiji at a distance in Mangalore, and when we cross-checked with the Google Baba, it was confirmed that Gandhiji came to Mangalore on August 9th or 19th, 1920. The moment you open In Quest of God, the first book, the first article he says from 1920 onwards. Because in one article he said that was the first spiritual touch turned towards spirituality. And Gandhiji was repeating Ram. He also had the same perspective, Ram not limiting to anywhere, but it is the subtle and mysterious power. Same word. Later on, when we were prompted to go through the pathway to God, the compilation of Gandhi's teachings, where he has given it beautifully, all these. So now we are putting two and two together. When Papa said 1920 to 1922 was the testing period for him. How it started? In his 38th year. 1884, 16, was the 36th year, sorry. 36th year, he had this, the first touch. Until such time, he was also a ordinary person like all of us. But how is it that he was able to get that glimpse and stabilized in it in 2 years' time? That also we know. And we have been doing it for now decades. But still he continues to inspire us. No? Though what he could scale in 2 years, we have not been able to do it even over decades, but still he continues to inspire us. That means, in other words, Papa, who has pulled us to him, he is still having the connection with us. So now we can bring on the damage. That is why he is making us to go through his works. What we read out now is from a portion when the Ramdas speaks, now lectures of Swami Ramdas in volume number 5, the last leg of the journey when he was in Ceylon. Whenever he talks anything about Nama, it is not an exclusive topic. He is trying to link it with our daily life. And one more thing is, when we start intensely going toward that direction, just like he today, just now, before we started 5 minutes back, this book was taken and at this particular page he made us to go through. The guidance will come. Proven, not a theory. So that means he is holding his hand, or he is holding our hands and leading us, as it were. So why not we were not recognizing even though he was holding our line. But now slowly let us try, try to feel the truth, experience the truth, that we are being led by him, we are being guided by him, because he has been with us and he is with us. Yes, anything else?
Swamiji, I have a doubt, Swamiji. While working, how to chant, Swamiji? Mind itself, how to chant while working? While working, how to chant from mind?
While working?
Yeah, Swamiji. How to chant in mind?
No, you try in your own way. Suppose it is not possible. You chant before, in between, after.
Oh, okay,
but try to feel that he is seated within you in the form of life, in the form of consciousness, in the form of intelligence, and he is making you to do, and he also makes you to forget while doing. Which is the truth.
He's running back to this room.
Every time we may fail, we may forget, but whenever it's possible for us to remember, we will try.
Okay, sir.
Tell me.
Swamiji, Hari Om. I'm a PhD student studying in NIT Calicut. I have some issues like if I'm working under a guide, I under a professor, and he's the one who instructs me and tells me what to do. Sometimes he behaves in a very weird way where I will be totally upset and demotivated. When everything is going fine, I feel that spirituality, God, and everything within me, I feel to chant or pray and meditate. But when things are not going well with me, when I feel there is no hope for me or no future for me, I feel absolutely deserted. I feel that the whole world is turning against me. I don't feel like eating. I don't feel like even sleeping. I don't get sleep. I wake up suddenly in the night and then I'll be completely tossed with all negative thoughts. So at that time, I feel many of the practices in spirituality, um, uh, I'm not able to perform that when things are absolutely chaotic around me. So how to handle that situation, that fear? I feel many negative things, and that will be a very difficult time for me. How to come out from that hopeless situation? How to get back that, because even I don't want to talk with anybody, I don't want to eat. I'll be just want to confine myself inside a room that is like an imprisonment. So uh, but it's like this feeling where there is nothing wrong with me and people are behaving very bad with me. I don't know how to handle that situation. How to draw some.
Yeah, everyone is made to pass through many trying situations like what you have explained. Many people have this. So here our master says, try to go to the origin of your and the world life. We know that we are here. No, nobody need to tell us that we are here. But at the same time, we know that we cannot come from sky. So there must be an originator, a power that originates. What is that? Then, because I have not initiated my life, I started thinking about my life only later. When I was in the form of a seed in my mother's womb, and also when I came out with the 200 odd organs, and when I am enjoying all the basic essential things to exist, which has not been provided by me, like air to breathe, water to drink, earth to exist, space to move about, 98.4-degree temperature to keep me alive, sun, rains, metals, minerals, gases, vegetables, fruits, pulses. Without this, I cannot exist. And I know very well, nobody need tell me that I have not brought anything. I have not made all these things available for me. So then I start thinking, putting two and two upon words. Since I 100% know that the present me and mine in me has not initiated my life, and the present me and mine is not responsible or has not provided anything when I came out of the mother's womb, there should be a power. So I now try to connect myself to that power. Why are you now giving me this sort of experience where I feel miserable, directionless? So what tangible gain is, you are not looking for an answer from outside. The more you try to ask, go on this, then you know that power. And Papa gives the name of that power. He has given the name as Ram, okay. And Ram he has defined as subtle and mysterious power, not an entity. And later on, through his sadhana, he knew that Ram stands for life force, because of which you are now looking at me, because of which the mind is bringing out these thoughts. Oh. If the life is not there, we are not there. No? And he is there in the form of consciousness. At the moment you know that you are hearing, you know that you are sitting, you know that you are passing through a stressful period, you know that there are negative down-pulling tendencies. No? What is that knowing principle? No? We try to analyze. And then we pray. That is why he has given this Ramnam. All these processes, it gets a push when we start chanting the name with this bhavana. You are there within me. Because I have not initiated this life. Previously, I was thinking that I am the starting point. But I now slowly try to understand that the present me and mine is not the starting point. It has come later. Initially, when I was a child or even when I was a student, though the little I was there, it was always shifting. But a stage came when this fellow got to know its own hold on in the form of likes and dislikes, preferences, priorities, cravings, infatuation, desire, ambition, attachment to so many things. This is the sum and substance of this me and mine. That factor came only later. I cannot pinpoint on what date it came. So now when Papa says go to the origin of your and the world life, we make an effort to connect myself. Why did you make me to come? Why did you make me to feel though? So in this way, we try to accept that there is a power in us, because of which we are what we are. And then we are trying to find out, by getting in touch with that power, the purpose of my life. And for all that, he says you chant, you give a name to that power and chant. And in ashram, the name has been given as Ram. So when we have been asked to chant Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, it should not be a mechanical, deep level, though initially it will be like that. Slowly, these questions come only for enabling us to go deeper into it. That is why he is making you to bring all these questions. He is making you to feel that there is an inner conflict that is going on. Because even now, when during this stressful period, you know that you are there. What is that you? Don't answer. Try to go with it. So initially we believe their words. So they have also passed through these times, and they were able to bring out. It was a scientific inquiry on their part. It was not based on any dictum or a dogma. We were sharing with our friends here. Papa wants us to become reflective and meditative. So the more we become meditative and reflective, we move toward the springs of our life. That means the core of my life. So never get demotivated, but try to fan this. When you are passing through such a turbulent period, his hand is on all of us. So that is why he pulled you here. Otherwise you could have gone somewhere else. And he is trying to show up something. Probably some light which we may not be very clear now. So start thinking. Now he has given you an opportunity also to place it, to get clarity. So never belittle even the so-called stressful period. It is instrumental for going deep within. You may kindly take the book In Quest of God. That was the first book. Now they must have sent this milestones, 100 books must be there.
Yes, come, Swamiji.
You can give a copy of it.
Yes, Swamiji, immediately.
That was the first book. And he had portrayed exactly what you have been now telling. He was passing through a period of stress. It is not that he, on one fine morning, he had the enlightenment. No. Exactly like something almost like what you are now expressing. All those were welling up in his heart. And that he was crying, pleading, appealing. And he got the answer. And rest of the period, 2 years, was only to get stabilized in that answer. That is why in his approach, the unique approach is, spirituality is not disconnected with our normal life. Whether you are leading a professional life, social life, family life, because he is with us, he has been with us. No work is taboo, no field is taboo. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. But we are not aware. So now he brings out circumstances in such a way that we slowly try to get some answer. If it is a smooth life, probably all these questions will not come to us. We may be going along with the tide. But since he has selected us, he has to make some instrumental cause for us to go deep within and find out the answer. So what we would suggest is, with this background, you may kindly go through this book also. And behind every chapter, how is it connected to our daily life? That is also we have added. Because 2 years back, when we celebrated his sannyas centenary, we call it a sannyas centenary. 1922, he left everything. The change that took place in Vittal Rao to Ramdas, Swami Ramdas, the enlightened Papa. So that we consider it as the sannyas. So in 2022, we made an elaborate in-depth study of this book, the first book. Then we realized that it is something like a dictionary, guide, manual. Whenever we have any doubt, we can refer to that. So with that bhavana, you may kindly go through that during your stay there. And then with that background, you join the Ramnam session. So that the Nama, previously you were chanting, you were only hearing it as a sound or a diversion. Now you find every chanting has got a meaning, pushing towards you, towards this ideal. And try for yourself. We also pray that whatever Sankalpa he has given to you, it might be fulfilled. Hari Om. What's your name?
James Raja.
Eh?
James Raja.
Eh?
James Raja.
Yeah.
James.
Take it. So where are we now? Where are we now?
We must go to the origin of
You must go to the origin.
Of your life.
Origin of your and the world life. Somewhere in our mind it should always be there. We got to know our starting point. At the moment our starting point is from Me and mine. We build up everything from that starting point. So Papa is slowly changing our direction. It is not your starting point. If it is your starting point, you are absolutely right. But we know that our roots are something different. It is something like, you see a plant, a grown up plant, and the plant starts telling us it is looking from that stage, thinking it started with the plant. But it started from a seed. And we slowly realize that the seed has to come from another seed. A seed cannot straight away come from the sky, The seed has to start from another seed. So that seed where it has started from, that is why Papa uses his words, root, origin, source. These are the words through which he is slowly directing our attention to the starting point. Whenever he makes us to dwell on this, especially when we come to ashram, that is the purpose for which we are drawn to the ashram. It is not a place where we come and just stay and go back to. To know the starting point. Because the moment we know the starting point, we will also know the purpose of our journey. The why and whereof of our journey. And therefore, it will make me understand my relationship with the relationship I have with the originator and with the co-creation. Because I am not aware of the starting point, I am relating with the co-creation based upon the me and mine. So ashram provides us a facility to connect ourselves with the starting point so that a right relationship develops between the present me and the origin and the co-creation. Me, God, and this world outside. At the moment, there is a disharmonious connection because I have not established the proper relationship. Because when I know that I have come from that particular, that root, that origin, that source, then suddenly I will also remember that everybody has also come from that. I cannot pinpoint a particular seed distinct from other seeds. Though I may not be able to decipher and say that it is because of that, it is because of this. But one thing we know, that when we go to the starting point must be the starting point of everybody. So my relationship with the starting point, my relationship with the co-creation slowly becomes clearer and clearer. I am unable to proceed further by myself, though I am seeking the grace of that power, by whose power I am existing now, to somehow clear this ignorance, so that I will be able to develop the right relationship with that power and with its co-creation, with my co-creation. all these things for the moment when we hear, it's very okay. But next moment, immediately after 4:30, we are back to square one. That is why Nama chanting has been given, to keep up this tempo. Then my mind complains that when I am involved in work, I am unable to remember him. Again, he answers, don't worry, I make you to forget. Bring me to the picture, that's all. With the freedom I have given to you, you are forgetting. But at the same time, keep remembering that it is he who makes you to forget and act as an individual. The moment we try to bring him into the picture, it changes its face. Previously, I was naming it as negative tendency or pull. Deplorable, doubtfully, all those words I used, but now I slowly remember. No, he makes me to feel that for a moment, so that whenever I get disconnected, because when he has actuated everything, it cannot be bad. The moment I use the word negative, because there is positive, otherwise why should I bring the word negative? So like that, be reflective, be meditative, and hold on to the name as much as possible. Whenever there is a disconnection, it will immediately come and does the fusion work. So initially, it may be vocal, and Papa says, he switched over to mental chanting. He was also enjoying vocal chanting, but he says for effective remembrance, it would be preferable to try mental chanting. Later on, when we started thinking more deeply, it became clear to us, mental chanting can be done anywhere at any place. Whereas vocal chanting, you have to be a little choosy, selective. When I am walking the road, when so many people are there, the traffic is there, suppose I keep on chanting and concentrating, what will happen? You know that. But if I keep this mental chanting, I will not be a disturbance to anybody. Part of the mind will be chanting, part of the mind will also be ensuring a safe travel. And this part of the mind chanting will always link me to the origin. Just now he said, he was quoting about Kabir, Janavai. So that means the spiritual life is not separate from our usual worldly life. Both are same. So we have to connect now. And we do Ramnam, we do Bhajan, we do Swadhyay, we hear Satsang, only to give a fillip, a push to it, which is also facilitated by him. Now you are sitting before a laptop or something, Immediately you try to find out laptop, when there was no laptop, he made somebody to think about a laptop. When there was nothing like internet, he made somebody to think about it. When there was no language, he made somebody to think about it and bring out. So how is it? I have not done anything. That much I know very well. Even if I forget rest of the thing, this I will know, that I have not done anything for any of these. So there is a power. Very air. Let us try to think about it. That's why Papa said origin. A small book has been compiled by Shraddha on the roots. You will be amazed, to see that how many times Papa has repeated these words in how many, ever so many articles. Roots. People like us, once in a way, we have to keep on, because due to our preoccupations, we are likely to get disconnected. So it will help us a lot. And nowadays, he has provided this wonderful computer or laptop or mobile, where, suppose we have that book of Ashram publication, and we give a search for this word root or origin or source. Immediately we try to, this is what he said. Some light somewhere. Instead of getting it elated at the intellectual level, we also try to think that how he has facilitated to know about this. What he wrote 60 years back, 70 years back, when we were probably not born, no? And today we are deriving the happiness, not because of us, that which we know. We were attributing to the objects and persons. Now he is throwing our light, the power behind the objects and the power behind the individuals. So anything can connect us to the origin. In 1954, at the last leg of his foreign tour, he had visited Ceylon. Now it is 2024. How many years now? 70, yeah? 70. 1954, 2024. 70. 70 years back, what he uttered on the soil of Ceylon. Today we are reading it out. And just suppose we read and keep quiet, we may not enjoy it. But try to trace back this. For enabling us to read, to remember what he said in 1954, what all factors that helped us. First and foremost thing is, I should be here, to know, to plumb deep. So the life is there. Language, I did not do anything. Printing, I did not do anything. Book form, and it came, and then he made us to get in touch with him. He made us to probe deeper into his, and to know that this has been put in a book called Ramdas Speaks Then. Now it is called Lectures of Swami Ramdas. And now when we read, as if he is giving us this message today in front of us. So when we try to go to the origin, we find the facilitator, the originator. Otherwise, it is only reading a portion of a book and that will not have any impact. But so many things are hidden there. So Papa's words, go to the origin of your and the world life. Your life and the world life. And Nama helps us to do that. Every time when we go through this Inquest of God, because that is the first book, that is our Magna Carta, that is our starting point in our spiritual journey. Previously, when we were reading, we may not be we would not have applied our mind. But now when we take the book, before he starts the chapter, he says, "O Ram, the truth, the love, the goal of human perfection, all hail, all hail." It was about 2 years ago, that is in 1920, that Ram first kindled in the heart of his humble slave Ramdas a keen desire to realize his infinite love. To strive to approach and understand Ram is to recede from the world of vanishing forms, because Ram is the only truth, the only reality. Ram is a subtle and mysterious power that pervades and sustains the whole universe. Birthless and deathless is He. He is present in all things and in all creatures, who only appear as a separate individual entity due to their ever-changing forms. To wake up from this illusion of forms is to realize at once the unity or love of Ram. Love of Ram means love of all beings, all creatures, all things in this world, because Ram is in all is in Ram, Ram is all in all. To realize this great truth, we, who through ignorance feel as separate individuals, should submit ourselves to the will and working of that infinite power, that infinite love Ram, who is one and all pervading. By a complete surrender to the will of Ram, we lose consciousness of the body, which keeps us aloof from Him, and find ourselves in a state of complete identification and union with Ram, who is in us and everywhere around us. Up to this, when we read, and then we close the book and start going through each and every. This is how we get connected to this source. And we get a clear picture of whose name we are chanting. That power which is nameless and formless has also given the name, and that power is prompting us to chant His name with this bhavana, so that we will become aware of His presence. Previously, when we were reading this portion, something we would have understood. But now again and again and again we go through the same article. So He is the originator, He is the root, He is the source. Ram is that. I am chanting the name of Ram to make me aware of this truth. So all of us, all of us, all of us must be having this inquest of God, or this book, signposts and milestones. Or if that is not an inquest of God and that stress to serenity, that compilation. And then we try to read this first article, do Ramna, and try to think about the origin, the source, the root. Because the basic thing we know, we have come from something. Without the cause, there cannot be effect. So we are starting from the effect level. We are now trying to start from the cause. Yes. Pranam.
Speak, you want to talk something?
Guruji,
I
I have good experience of presence of beloved Papa, Mataji, and Satidanandji. Pleasant. Sometimes I get certain sort of perturbance. Why? In spite of experience.
I get sometimes.
Sometimes I get some sort of a perturbed. I get myself perturbed.
Perturbed.
It will be there, Unless and until now, what we have understood is at the intellectual level.
Okay.
When we are dealing with men and matters, unless it is translated into the experiential level,
Okay.
Conflict will come.
Oh.
So it's a regular test. We have some idea, concept, sankalpa, but when we go to the actual life, it may not go in line. So the conflict comes. So again, when we get that, we have been told by our masters that we try to remember him. Why are you causing me this disturbance? A feeling of getting disturbed. So we will pay attention to him. Try to bring him into the picture.
Okay.
Even when we are pushed to the other side. This is what Papa taught us through his book. Because the first line, or the first chapter, for nearly a year, Ramdas struggled on in a world full of chaos, anxieties, and pains. It was a period of terrible stress and restlessness, all of his own making. In this utterly helpless condition, full of misery, where is relief, where is rest? This was the heart's cry of Ramdas. So he has added the word heart's cry. It is not the usual cry from the lip level. When it came from the bottom of his heart, he felt that his prayer was heard. And then the saga started. So kindly go through In Quest of God, the first chapter again.
Okay.
And tally it with your own experience.
Okay.
And try, in whatever form he prompts you from within, to remember him.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
It's already 4:34. Okay. So try to, every day he is giving us so many points by which we are moved 1 inch towards the 1 inch towards the goal of our life, to become aware of his presence. So we pray to him to give us the needed intensity so that it doesn't get punctured and we get again demotivated. He will put us go through so many tests, so many attractions, so many repulsions, so many things he will do that. But we will try. Whatever may be, I will not leave you. I will not leave you. This is what he did in his 36th year. And 36th and 37th and 38th year, he was able to get the light. So let us all try to do that. And every now and then, suppose we go through his text, it is there. Perennial reminder to us of the goal to be saved, path to be followed, and never to get demotivated. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram. Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji. Hari Om Swamiji.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskaram, namaskaram.
Pranam, Swamiji.
Thank you so much.
Namaskar.
Pranam, Swamiji.
Pranam, Swamiji.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Pranam, Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam, pranam.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam.
Pranam.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskaram, namaskaram. Hari Om.
Pranam, Swamiji.